I am live on YouTube. I'll give you guys a second to show up. If you're out there, I'll wait till exactly 1 o'clock, about a minute. All right. So thank you for coming. If you're here, those of you that are watching this after the fact, this is going to be up permanently on this site on YouTube. And so you can come back and look at this. So if you're looking for the seminar on life support, this is it. Okay. This is number 2 in the life support series of videos. Is my second live. And I want to take this opportunity to just thank you for showing up, for being interested in what life support is. This could be, a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, 2 years after the fact of me going live. But hey, I'm glad you're here anyways. And hopefully this information and the stuff that I share with you today is meaningful and helps you. Okay. So thank you for being here. There's a live chat. So if you do want to if you ask a question, if you want to share something, if you have something to say, I might not get to it right at the start. I might wait till towards the end because I really want to just get down to it and talk about life support, talk about, the from beginning to end, all the details about life support, what life support is, how to do life support, and so forth. And so I'm grabbing my phone. Sorry about that. So life support. Life support can be thought of in 3 phases. Okay. Life support is inspiration, perspiration, and communication. Okay. So inspiration, in order to have life support is a part of something that has to come out of you. Okay. Inspiration, you have to be inspired by something. If you're inspired by, doing something amazing with your life, that's a great place to start life support. So once you get excited, you're like, okay, I want to do this. I want to do that with my life. That's going to take you to the second part. Okay. So I'll develop that in a bit, but the second part is perspiration. So you have to work on some things in your life because it doesn't just happen. There needs to be change. There needs to be effort put into your life in order to have an outcome. So you get inspired, you start working, and then the communication part is the third part. And it really helps push. You can do it with inspiration and perspiration for sure. But the third thing is the communication, talking about it, sharing about it, being with people and communicating about it. So life support is a way to develop yourself and to have practical application and way to develop yourself and to change your life. The last component is the support group, the communication, the community. Okay. Community is something that's super important and helps us in many kinds of ways. When you have someone that's in your family, in your community, in your circle that can encourage you or, ask you how it's going, it does make a big difference, right? You noted that when you say something on Instagram or Facebook, you say, hey, I am going to do this. You've already allowed yourself to be accountable to what you just said you're going to do. And so accountability is super important. But let's talk about this. Life support is a people on a journey towards wellness and greatness in their life. Okay. I believe that if you do these steps, if you take these steps, you can have an incredible life, a life of wellness and a life of greatness. So let's define some things. What does it mean to live a life of wellness? I believe that if you look up wellness in the dictionary, it says feeling good about the different areas of your life. Okay. So let's just use that as a thing. Okay. Um, I got distracted. Sorry. Um, so wellness, a life of wellness would be a life where you feel great about all the different areas of your life. Okay. Now, the way we think about that, and the way I want you to think about is by using something called a life wheel. Okay. I don't know if you can, let me do this so you can see it. So you see this, you see it's just a circle. And if you see those numbers around the circle, kind of hard to see, but you see the numbers around the circle. What I want you to think about is this is called the life wheel. And the life wheel is a tool that I've used for the last 4 years to help me to live a life of greatness and wellness. What you do is you think about your life as a chart, as a pie chart like that. And your life, everybody else's life, is comprised of different things. Many of us similar to others, like your finances, your relationships, your hobbies, your faith, if you have that. Different ways like that. You could make a chart, and you can, on a pie chart, just jot down in these different pie pieces and fill up that circle with the different things that compromise your that comprise your life. Okay. Now, if you use this chart, you can use this chart and you can chart out how you're doing right now. If you look on this chart right now, you can see those darkened dots on the lines on the graph are where I'm at now. The goal is that in every area of your life, you're working towards the outsides of this circle. Okay. 0 is at the beginning, is in the middle, and then 10 on the outsides. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to all those areas of your life at a 10 instead of where they are now, maybe not at a 10. Okay. So I'm going to break that down further. But when you do that, that's wellness, because you feel good about the different areas of your life, right? This chart and plotting it out and writing it out gives you a hard, definite way to say, I can see that this is working. I can see that my life is improving. And in turn, I feel it in my life, right? Very, very few people can just wing it, right? We need to write stuff down. It's important to write things down. And so wellness, again, we've defined wellness, feeling good about every area of your life. And I believe that once that happens, there's a freedom that can come from it, where now you're like, okay, I feel awesome, and now I want to do something with it. Okay. And that's where living a life of greatness can come out of, a life of wellness. So let's go back and then come back again. So life support is inspiration, perspiration, communication, or community. Okay. So inspiration. You have to get inspired, and you have to kind of get your bearings on where you're wanting to go and where you're at now, right? If you were going to go on a trip, you're going to say, my destination is blank, and I am presently here. The steps to get to that is, I gotta drive my car to the airport or get a ride to the airport. I have to get on my flight. I gotta land here, take my connecting flight, and land there. It can be that simple, but it could be a little more complex, right? But basically, arriving to any destination requires you to look at where you're at, where you want to go, and what are the steps to get there. Okay, so inspiration, right? I want you to really hone in on what's important to you. And a lot of different reading that I've done helped me to kind of navigate this. And as I developed life support, it let me give you a really quick. Well, you can go back to video number 1 to hear the inspiration for life support, but I'm going to share it here real quick, just in a minute, to kind of get us caught up. I own a CrossFit gym for the last 13 years, and I came out of being a minister, a pastor, and I cared for people, and then people's spiritual lives, right? And then I began a CrossFit gym where I started to help people with their physical lives, and now I'm putting the two together. Why? Because during the pandemic, this I got this idea because there was a certain time during that pandemic where we were able to, with my members, go and check in with each other on Zoom, because that's all that was available at that time. We could meet, one-on-one together, all that stuff. And so meeting with people on Zoom, I could check in with them on the little screen, and I could ask them how they were doing. And person by person by person, didn't matter how rich they were, poor, were struggling, just like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? I feel this. I can't handle this. This is hard. And I realized that I was helping people to get strong physically, but mentally, I was not helping people. And so I decided at that point, I'm going to create a program to help people to become strong, not just physically, but spiritually, mentally. And that's what started this process of life support. So I started to put some stuff together. I found some tools, and I did that work myself. I started to put myself through the work, and I'd spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours developing this process to help people. And so that's what I'm sharing with you today. Okay, that's how life support started. A community of people keeping each other accountable to live a life of greatness and wellness and greatness, right? So inspiration. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about the end of your life, okay? At the end of your life, what do you want people, like, imagine that you were at your funeral. I know it's kind of morbid, but it helps us to kind of get the idea. You're at your funeral, you're a fly on the wall, and people are coming up to talk about you. What do you want to hear them say about you? Okay. And just spending some time will help you to kind of navigate this and realize that it's about the legacy that you left behind. The way that you were with people is what matters the most in this world. Making a difference in people's lives. Those are the things that matter most in this life. And so we use that. I want you to use that as you start to put together your I call them your life vision or your life goals in the different areas of your life. Okay. And so I've put mine together, and I'm going to share them with you to kind of help you, give you an idea of what we're talking about. So I called them my life areas. Okay. The different areas of my life comprised of my faith, and these are all F's because that helps me. It doesn't have to be that way, but my faith, my finances, my fitness, my friends and family, music, and I use an F clef. If any of you know music, an F clef is a sign that has an F in it, and I needed an F. But music, and then I couldn't think of anything for personal development with an F, so I just wrote full personal development. And then my last one was fun. Okay, so these different areas of my life, that could be hobbies, right? These are the different areas of my life. And then I thought about, what do I want? When I'm at the end of my life, what do I want to have accomplished, right? And so for faith, this is what I wrote. And this is, these can change, but this is my personal one that I wrote. I want to have a faith that is big, wide, and deep. I want to see God move in a powerful way in all that I do, all that I say and do. Let me show you for fitness. I want to look and feel amazing, and I want to leverage that to help and inspire others. I want to influence and inspire people. And then for each area of your life, I want you to write something like that. Okay. In your relationship with your friend and family, write down what you want. In your finances, what do you want to see happen? You have to dream. This requires dreaming. This requires taking a full day and really in those different areas of your life, around that circle, the life wheel. This is your life. This circle is your life. And I want you to write down what you would like each of those areas of your life to end up to look like, right? So that's the first step. And that is, that takes us to, boom, the second one, right? But let's talk about the first one again, real quick. A lot of people I know, and I used to be guilty of this myself, are stuck in their head. Okay. Oh, I could never. That's for other people. I'm not strong enough. I'm not smart enough. That's something that I could never do. I can't. That's a mindset that sucks. You're never going to accomplish anything if that's your mindset. Okay, you have to believe that you can achieve. Okay, the brain is so powerful. Once we start believing it and we start thinking about it and processing it and believing it, we're closer to achieving it. And so I want to remind you that inspiration part, that first part, has to be fueled. Okay, you have to be fueled by positive things in your life. The people around your life, if they're negative and if they're like, oh, woe is me, you need to get away from those people. Those people are bringing you down. What you need to do is find some people that are supportive, that are positive, that are doing awesome things, right? If there's a saying that says, if you're hanging around with four poor people, you're going to be the fifth one. If you're hanging around four rich people, you're going to be the fifth one. Okay, you turn out and you act and you become like the people that you're surrounding yourself with. So surround yourself with positive people. Allow positive things to come into your life. Maybe you're a spiritual person. Be praying about positive things happening in your life. Maybe you're not a spiritual person, but you can, do positive things and invite positive vibes or whatever, positive things to come to you. And I believe that can happen. I believe when we think positively, that we get something going. There's something going on in the universe that gets things excited and things working on your behalf. Okay. So if it's a movie you need to watch, if it's music that gets you going, there's so many ways to get positive, right? And so we need to move in the positive direction. Some of us struggle with some negativity. Some of us maybe struggle with some depressing thoughts and some depression. And we need to do some things that get us out of there. Okay. You might need to get, some medical attention if the depression is something that's you can't work yourself out of. But if it's a mild depression and you can find yourself in a depressive state, and sometimes just getting outside, letting the sun hit you, getting around some positive people, exercising, walking will just turn you around just like that. So that's inspiration. Okay. I like to listen to inspirational, like audio biographies or stories of people that have done amazing things in their life. And I like that. Inspires me. That gets me excited because sometimes I find myself thinking, wow, if that person can do it, I can do it. Not to be braggadocious, right? But no, with humility, approaching it and saying, wow, that person did it. And I think I can do it too. And don't think that it's going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of work, but get inspired by something, by someone to do something. Maybe there's something that you've always wanted to do. Man, I always wanted to travel. Or I've always wanted to write a book, or I've always wanted to write, make an album of music, or I just dated myself. I've always wanted to do blank, so and so and so forth. Those are dreams that you have, and they're in you for some reason. I want you to think about developing those and getting after it. Okay, so that's inspiration. Now we're going to focus on perspiration. The perspiration part of life support is doing the work. Okay. Some people make a silly, naive maybe, or just dumb thought that, oh wow, they must have, they're lucky. They achieved their thing because they're just lucky. It just happened to happen to them. It must have been easy for them. Oh, it must be easy for you. And a lot of times that's wrong. That's just wrong. You don't know how many people I've spoken to, or testimonies that I've heard of from people who said, I've been working at this for 10 years with everything in me, and struggled and struggled and struggled. And then now it's finally starting to come together for me. A lot of the are not overnight successes. It's a lot of hard work to achieve anything. One of the things that is kind of interesting, and I really like it in my field, in the fitness field, is that you have to be patient in order to see the body change. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes some time. So it's good and bad. It's good because it weeds out a lot of the people that aren't serious. But at the same time, it weeds out a lot of the people that really need it, because it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice to make changes with your body. And unfortunately, a lot of these companies that sell these magic formulas are preying on people that don't want to work hard and are impatient and can't wait the 8 weeks to see change. It takes a long time to see change. You have to work. So in this circumstance, in this scenario, life support, inspiration, by the time we're done, you'll be able to say it. Inspiration, perspiration, communication. We're on the second part of it, perspiration, working. So how do you work on achieving your goals? So the way I've done it is I shared with you. And for example, I'm gonna use my fitness, right? Like I said, just a review. I want to look and feel amazing, and I want to leverage that to help and inspire others. Okay, that's a good general kind of idea, but it's not specific enough for my goals. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that fitness, and you're going to have dream about what that looks like in the future, and then make it more concrete. Okay, how am I going to do that? How am I going to know that I've arrived? Living a life that inspires others with my fitness. Okay, what does that mean? That sounds very general, and so it needs to be more specific. So make yourself a specific goal to work towards. And then what you're going to do is however often you visit and revisit your life wheel, you're going to make these. You're going to have goals, and you're going to revisit the goals, and you're going to work on your goals. So let's take that first one as an example. Okay, so fitness. What you're going to do is you're going to write yourself. You're going to put down, like I said, you're going to chart it out. Okay, so we have my 7 areas, and I have my 7 places on the map. And then I have some goals in each of those areas. Okay. And what do I have for fitness here? Start on a program. day and a daily shake. Start a program and start drinking a daily shake. That was two goals that I had for my fitness. Okay. And that just gets the ball rolling. Okay. Once you achieve that, you're like, okay, I've done that. And now what's the next thing? So you're gonna have the next goal. And the goal needs to be more specific. So what I would do is I had a program and I just started some kind of fitness program. That's what I wanted to do, start a fitness program. And then I said, okay, like currently I want to compete at the CrossFit Games. Okay. That's very specific. I want to compete at the CrossFit Games. And I'm putting it out there now. Okay. If those of you that don't know, the CrossFit Games are a yearly championship for people that do CrossFit. Okay. Now, I am in an age division for masters athletes. Okay. And that is my division is the 55 to 59-year-olds. And so my goal this year is to make it to the CrossFit Games. And it's a big goal. It's a huge thing. But I've put together my all the work that I need to do, and that's my goal, my ultimate goal. And so, working back, I've put together these, my process, how I'm going to go about doing it. What are the things that I need to do? And I've worked myself backwards so that I can be successful in that. Okay. And I want you to do this in every area of your life. Okay. Let me see. What do I have? Just give you another example. It could be like for fun, as simple as I want to go on a cruise this year. Okay. Write it down. How do I do that? Okay. Well, I need to save money. Okay. Well, I need to pick first of all, I need to pick where I want to go. Right. But, save some money, get some time off, all those, these are the practical steps to get us to that. Where at the end of wherever the time frame you've given yourself, you're going to go on your cruise. Okay. And this is in the category of fun for me. Okay. But you might be in your area of finances. You might say in your area of finances, I want to save $10,000. Okay. So then you work yourself back. How long is it going to take me? How do I do that? And little by little, you can write down these goals in these different areas of your life. Okay. And ultimately it's something that it's going to be moldable. It's not, it could change. You could change something, in a year from now, you could be like, well, I really don't want to do that anymore. And that's fine. But you're working on what do I want to do? What do I want to replace that with? What's the next thing for me? What's after the CrossFit Games, once I've achieved that, do I want to try again if I don't make it? If I do make it, what do I want to do after that? And it's a constant kind of looking at your life and trying to feel great about every area of your life. Okay. And that's the way you do it. Okay. So inspiration, perspiration, doing the work, using goals, and let's talk about how I want you to do your goals. The goals need to be, they're called SMART goals. Okay. And they need to be specific. They need to be, shoot, I can't think of it right now, but it's four different SMART. It's four different areas. You know what? I'm so stupid. I have it here, and I just off the top of my head, I can't think of it. SMART goals. Okay. And then we're going to look at it. Yes. So specific goal. Make your goals specific and narrow for more effective planning. Measurable. Make sure that your goal and programs are measurable. It's something that you can log in, write down, chart out. Like, yes, it's working. No, it's not working. Achievable. Make sure that you can reasonably accomplish your goal within a certain time frame. Okay. Relevant. Your goals should align with your values and long-term objectives. Okay. And then time-based. Set a realistic but ambitious end date to clarify task prioritization and increase motivation. So this is the way to, as you're writing down your goals, run it through that little matrix, run it through those areas. Is it specific enough? Is it measurable? Is it something that I can do? Is it relevant to me in my life? And is it something that I can say, okay, in a year, in 2 years, in 3 months? There's got to be a time limitation that you give yourself to push yourself to do it, right? So make sure your goals are smart, but you do have to have goals. Inspiration, perspiration, working, doing the work. And the last part of it is communication. Okay. And communication happens one-on-one. It can happen, I guess, to yourself, but communication really happens between two and more people. And so what the third part of life support is a support group. Okay. Life support is a support group. It could be here on social media, on YouTube, in the chat. It could be with some friends. It could be with a neighbor. It could be with your family. But a support group is some people that you are saying, hey, we're going to do this thing together. Let's walk this journey together on a life of wellness and greatness. And let's do it together. And so what I happen to have a built-in community that I can do life support with. Okay. Right now I do life support with my coaches and coaches at my gym, and the five of us will sit around, 6 of us will sit around and say, okay, hey, how's everybody doing? And just go around and check in with each other. And we don't get to do it as thoroughly as I'd like to, but it's a check-in to see, hey, you mentioned last time that you this was going on. How's that going? It's just a way to keep each other accountable. So you could technically say to somebody, hey, do you want to meet for coffee and do life support? And yeah, if you both know what that means, yeah, you're going to go and have some coffee, and you're going to go over, your areas of your life and just have some accountability, have someone to share, how it's going. When you're in a bigger group, there's some sharing that's going on. And I imagine this at some point being something where we can do it, on a Zoom call, maybe, where we're able to sit down at a meeting, at a support meeting online. Maybe it's a opportunity to, you could say like 4 or 5 people, hey, we're going to have life support at my house, and hey, let's meet, let's have some food or coffee or whatever, but let's do life support and let's go around the circle and see how everybody's doing. I was inspired by this with a couple things. The first thing is when I was going through my divorce, I needed people to talk to that understood me. And I found a support group of people that specifically with what I was going through were able to chat. I was able to talk to them. I was able to hear them. And there's something special. There's something comforting about sitting across from somebody and hearing them say some of the things that you're feeling, and wow, and knowing, wow, they hear me, they get me. That's a beautiful thing. So if you're doing life support with people, you're with people, you're hanging out with people, and you're sharing your stuff. We're on this journey together. Okay. We're purposely on a journey trying to live a life of wellness and greatness. Not everybody's going to get it. I mean, this is something that some people just aren't going to buy into. They're just, they're like, oh, that's great for you, but I could never do that. Right. This is for people who, no, I want to do something more. I want to have a great life. I want to feel well in every area of my life. That's what life support is. It's a community of people in keeping each other accountable in these different areas of our lives. Being there for each other, encouraging each other, offering, advice when asked for. I picture I told you about the first thing. The first thing that really made sense to me was having accountability in a support group before. I've experienced that. I know the power of accountability. The second thing is there was this TV show called Mom, and the characters in the show would go to a support. They were alcoholics, and they would go to support group, and they'd be struggling or something, and say, "Man, I need to get to a group." And I thought, wow, that's cool, right? I would love to have some people when I'm starting to kind of like not start to do my goals and not start to work on myself and develop myself. And I kind of, because you can kind of just flatline. Man, I really need to get to a group. And so that the availability and the possibility of having a support group to work on my goals for a life of wellness and greatness made a lot of sense to me. And so that was the second thing, just a support group. It's just a support group, but it's a support group for people that are wanting to live a life of wellness and greatness. So that's life support. We're 35 minutes into this video, and I feel like I've said it all. We've talked about inspiration. We've talked about getting inspired around the different areas of your life and imagining what would make you feel good about each of the areas of your life, writing it down, and then perspiration, start working on some goals, and start, don't overwhelm yourself with like 10 goals in each of the areas. Think of one goal in each of those areas and start to work on them. And then after a week or two, maybe chart it out and see how you're feeling. From a 0 to 10, how are you feeling in each of the areas of your life? And soon you'll start to see that you're increasing the boundaries of this little this little pie chart that you've put together. The final piece is the accountability. So I want to share this with you. We have this YouTube channel. That's a place where you can get some feedback. You can watch the videos, get some inspiration, and maybe ask some questions. Then we have social media. We're going to use the power of social media. I'm going to be sharing on social media, and I would love this to be interactive. Feel free to ask questions, ask for clarifications, watch the videos, get inspired, grab a meeting when you can. Jump in on a meeting. I'm going to have regular meetings, maybe at my gym, maybe at my house, maybe at a coffee place, but I'm going to try to have some regular meetings once a week where I say, hey, we're going to meet at so-and-so, the restaurant, and we're going to do life support. Come on down, right? Or, hey, we're going to, this Friday at my gym at this time, 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., we're going to do life support at the gym. Come on down. But try to get a meeting. If you don't live in the area, I'm going to try to have some Zoom meetings that will be available for those of you that want to do life support, but you're just not close enough, right? It can still happen. You can still have interaction. If you've learned anything, it's that with Zoom, we don't actually physically have to be together to have meaningful conversation. And so that's what that would be for. So inspiration, perspiration, communication. If you put those three together, I believe that you can live an incredible life. A life of greatness doesn't just happen. There has to be work. There has to be a desire to want more. And if that's you, and if you want more out of your life, I believe that life support is a great thing to help you to do that, a great vehicle to help you to get from the life that you're living now to a life of greatness and wellness. That's the seminar. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made sense to you. If you're looking at this a year from now, hopefully life support is huge and people all over the world are doing it. But this is July 19th of 2024. And Carlos Cueva, life support video number 2, signing out. Thanks for watching.